Hey guys, welcome to TGS. Today we're going to be talking about getting started on rifle shooting, how to get into rifle ownership and to transition into that world. Before we go any further, if you like this video, please subscribe, and if you like a few of our videos, maybe consider becoming a channel member to support what we do. So the first route into rifle shooting is a very simple one, and it is to go and join a target rifle club. It's never been easier, apart from perhaps at the moment, to go and join a rifle club and to go and find a local one. A quick Google or Facebook search of where you live, followed by rifle club, target shooting club, or shooting club, will garner a lot of results. I can think within half an hour here, there's 5 or 6 clubs where one could go and shoot Section 1 firearms. Within an hour and a half, there's a lot. So every club will be slightly different. So once you've decided on that, and perhaps just go along to your local one to have a go, although a lot of clubs will have a first visit no shoot policy depending on what exemptions they use or how their club operates. So when you go to a club, be prepared not to shoot a gun, which always feels a little bit funny. But you have to become au fait with the rules and the safety, and they have to check, because one presumes that a lot of people go to these clubs who perhaps, I don't know, have never shot a gun, have never been involved in this, and never have really understand. So going and observing is a really good thing, but it is hard to go along and not pull the trigger. You'll also get a feel of that first time when you're not shooting, of whether these are people you want to hang out with, and whether the type of shooting that they're doing interests you at all. So, in terms of different types of rifle club, well, there is a huge amount. Most rifle clubs will visit other ranges, so there'll be a variety of stuff. But let's talk about rifle disciplines. Rifle disciplines can be really broken up by caliber quite easily. So if we start with something called a rimfire, a 2.2, a very small bullet fired by hitting the rim where the primer is based. Quite short range target sports, generally speaking. This can be divided into 3 categories, really are the most popular ones. The first is a prone rifle. A prone 2.2 rifle is where you are bound on the floor, you're shooting with open sights or open aperture sights, 2 sort of circles placed along each other, with a jacket that will tie you up and into your gun. So you're really bound up into that gun. You'll be shooting single shots, generally speaking, at groups of 10 targets, and to see how consistent and how accurate you are. It sounds quite boring, but it is actually quite fun in the doing. You know, it's not a spectator sport, that's for sure, but it is something that is really nice to get involved in because you can get so very, very accurate. Very, very accurate. However, the rate of fire is perhaps less than other disciplines. The next one up from there is bench rest. So you'll be sat on a bench with a slightly different rifle setup, but similar sort of concept, usually scoped, and you'll be shooting similar targets. The next one, which is probably the most popular but for newcomers, is something called lightweight sports rifle. Lightweight sporting rifle is where you stand freehand with your rifle, with a rifle that falls inside of the specifications of being a lightweight sports rifle, which can actually be quite a heavyweight target rifle, but not a super heavyweight target rifle. And you shoot 5 shots into a circle freehand. And you'll do this over the course of multiple cards, whether you're practicing or doing an actual competition. And it's a good way of just standing there, this is not a rimfire, and just shooting, bang, 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 bang. And it's a good way of putting rounds down range and having a lot of fun, whilst caring about the safety and the accuracy, but your round count will be higher. And for a lot of people, it's a lot more interesting to learn because it's a harder discipline to master, perhaps. The difference between a newcomer and somebody who is very, very good is a lot, whereas with prone rifle you can be on the target within 5 minutes and you're only gaining in sort of half an inch between, and that's a huge amount, don't worry, it's a huge amount, but you can see vast improvements very quick, so it's a great and easy reward to gain by shooting lightweight sports rifle. Plus, most local and smaller rifle ranges will be built up for rimfire only, which will allow you to shoot prone and lightweight sporting rifle. They'll be the 2 ones you go and see, although there'll be a litany of other smaller, less popular or less prolific things. Obviously speaking, more locally and across the course of the country, there's a lot of different places that you can go. I mean, there's places in Wiltshire where you can go into a pub and shoot rifles. That's pretty cool. So, next up on the list will be gallery rifle. Gallery rifle is done in the same sort of ranges. We're talking about 25 meters here, sort of usually maximum, maybe a little further, but we're doing all this within 25 meter ranges, more than likely. Gallery rifles start to step up from a 2.2. And when I say a 2.2 rimfire, that can be bolt action, semi-automatic, lever action, We're allowed to own pretty much any 2.2 bar a full auto one in this country, even to the point of owning long barrel pistols in semi-automatic in 2.2, which is quite fun. Gallery rifle is built on the same sort of ranges, although you'll be using different rifles, larger calibers. If you like lever actions, that is generally the place for you, although there is bolt actions you can use in these sort of things as well. I'm going to glance over gallery rifle and we're going to step onto longer range target rifle. And this will allow you to own something like this, a 308 bolt action. I should take a step back really and state that regardless of whether you're shooting long range, short range, gallery, any sort of target rifle in a club situation, the process to get your firearms license is very similar. You go along, you observe for one session. You go back and you shoot a session or multiple sessions as a guest. You then join as what is called a probationary member. So you will join as a member, but you will not be able to apply for a firearms license. The purpose of this, I suppose, is to slow down the process, but is also to double check that you are safe at handling a firearm, and more importantly, you get an understanding of what disciplines you want to do. If you go and shoot for a month and realize it's not for you, at least you haven't wasted the time and money that it takes to apply for a license and get a gun. Most probations last 6 months, or if you have a firearms license already, will usually be lesser, half of that, for example. And that's that. And once you pass that, you can go and apply and own guns, Section 1 firearms. That's kind of as simple as that. In terms of longer range shooting, the world really is your oyster. Usually you have to travel a little bit further to get to a longer range, but you know, it allows you to, it opens up into an entirely different world of long range rifles, long range calibers, long range disciplines, which one should get into at this point. But if you're going to a club that does that, they will guide you so much easier and so much better and allow you to do what you want. There is other alternatives to joining a club, but mostly that is going to be the way that you're going to go and get a rifle specifically for target shooting, which will allow you to go and shoot other things like the Precision Rifle League, like open matches, and at clubs that you are not a member at. There is clubs such as the NRA. So the NRA at Bisley, which is obviously local to here, and there is other models similar across the course of the country, is more of a training sort of thing. So instead of joining as a member and following that procedure, you go and you have to do a set learning, set tests and set courses, for example, and this sounds a lot more litigious than it actually is, but to go and pass day courses to be seen to be proficient and safe in handling of firearms, and then you can join. And once you remember the NRA, you can literally rock up, grab a gun, go and shoot, at Bisley at least. And there are a lot of models like that. For those of you who perhaps do not want to join a club, there are other options. And there are quite a few commercial ranges out there, which you just need to phone up, book ahead, at which point it's a little bit harder to find and you will have to drive a bit further than to go to a local rifle club. Phone up, say, I would like to try this. There is a mixture, depending where in the country, of indoor and outdoor from any range from 25 out to several hundred meters to go and have a go. There's also a lot of private companies, for example, WMS. Up in Wales, you can go and shoot 2,000 yards, and all you have to do is pay the guy for a day, and he will take you out shooting his guns at different ranges. But again, that is more money than perhaps just rocking up to your local club and buying £5 worth of ammo and having a go. And that is getting started target rifle shooting. I probably should go into more depth, but in reality, every local club is so different, and your local rules are so different. The best stage, if you are genuinely interested at this, is, after listening to this small piece of advice, is to go to your local club, try and enjoy. And always remember, if you don't like it at that club, every club is different. Every club has its own attitudes and own people, and there's only little tribalisms. So try a couple of clubs before you settle on one. Some are more fun, some are more serious, some are full of some of the best people in the world as far as I'm concerned. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any further questions, please bang them below, and we'll try and help. Or send them to our Instagram and Facebook accounts, and we'll probably get back to you a bit quicker than in the comment section. At the moment, please just stay safe, take it easy. It's been brilliant, guys, and we'll see you next time.